Chinese senior high school. In addition to that, she's also a doctoral student in our school, but she's studying at the Institute of Instruction and Curriculum, right? Instruction and Curriculum, yeah. And she's also a mother. She is a writer. She published a book, and she translated several books about differentiated instruction. And she is very passionate about learning. So in the past years, she has involved in a lot of like professional development workshops in like CLIO and CBI, content-based instruction, and project-based learning, right? VL. All right, so we're very honored to have her today, and her topic today is reading-writing connection in her own classroom. So please give her a round of applause.
Well, thank you, Professor, to invite me to have such a nice chance to interact with you. Well, I'm Cynthia, and I'm very glad to be here. I just told Professor that this department is my dream department, that I would like to, when I was young, that is my top school, my dream school. But however, because of the test result, I didn't come here. And so now I'm a PhD student in the Graduate Institute of Curriculum and Instruction. I just imagine as if I came here. And so I'm very happy to interact with you this morning. Though Professor just asked me to share my experience, how I connect reading and writing in my classroom, but I assume that all of you are going to be a teacher. So I just want to share with you how I design my lesson plan. And you are advanced learners, you are smart learners, but when you become a real teacher in a real situation, for example, if you come to be my colleagues to teach my students, and you will find that not all the students are that smart as you. So I just try to use the following tasks for you to know what happens and how real my students are. According to my students' English proficiency, they are not advanced learners. They are not top 3 school students. And most of them are coming from working class families. And although most of them once go to the cram school to learn the 儿童美语, but when I contact them for the first time, I found that they lose their confidence in English learning. And there are so many stories. And because in my class, I always try to add some opportunities for them to learn English, but their feedback always amazed me. For example, I found they do not have many opportunities to talk to other classmates. They have less opportunities to do cooperative learning, and they don't have chances to learn how to read a novel. So for me, I just think, okay, anyway, I don't have to care about their past stories. I just want them to have a new chance because they are my students, then I just try to give them as many opportunities to learn English step by step. I have to say to teach them step by step because they are not advanced learners. So I have to give them a lot of scaffolding for them. And so in the following tasks, I will invite you, just like me, just imagine when you're going to prepare a lesson to teach my students, you have to think about what needs my students have and how do I help them to learn English, okay? And now, because the thing is about how to connect reading and writing, and this time I don't share with you lots of my PBL experiences. I just tell you how do I do before the classes that my students, when they first enter my classroom. This is what I want you to think about that. And so in today's learning, I want you to learn what I'm going to show you when I teach my students in the reading section, in the writing section, and if we have more time, I want you to share you how to design some assessment. And you can see CAP is about 会考. Though in my classroom, I have to say that my students are still have some advanced learners. Their writing test, I remember they can get 15 or 16 points. That are the advanced learners in my classroom. And my average students, their writing scores are about 8 or 9. And in my mind, the students with a basic level, sometimes they could have 4 or 5 points in their writing test result. So that's the final performance, the final test I learned from my students. But in order to have them have such a result, actually, they made a lot of efforts from reading and from writing opportunities. So later when you have the chance to design the worksheets, I just want you to imagine my students, their advanced level, their intermediate level, and their basic level. So do not create the worksheet that is suitable for those top 3 school students, okay? And just based on my students' level to create the worksheets. And now I want you to share with you the reading. Do you know this? The 2 graphic organizers? Would you please say something about what graphic organizer is? How can we use its function to our reading? Is there anyone can share your opinions with us?
We can help you get an idea of the structures of the reading, which you can.
Okay, very good. Text structure, that's very important. I have to tell you, when I do the PhD program, and because the professors ask us to read English materials, for me, because I'm an English teacher, it's okay for us because we know how to get the main structure of the reading materials. But I know my classmates, they are not English teachers. They are not good at English. They feel very suffer. They feel painful. And the main problem is that they don't know how to get the main structure of the materials. But that is I think that is a sad situation because they are PhD students, but they don't know they can use these kind of ways to grasp the main idea. So if we don't want to cultivate our students, if they are going to study the PhD program, but they don't know how to use this great tool, then how about ask ourselves to teach our students in the classrooms to have this kind of learning. And since graphic organizers, the main function is to grasp the text structure, then we need to know there are types of graphic organizers. And I guess you might be familiar with that. Timeline, you know that? Okay. How about cycle? Do you know that? If I give this water cycle, then especially when you teach the science unit, you can use this structure cycle to teach students to read some scientific articles. And how about this? Cause and effect. We may know that maybe in the reading you can learn one cause can have many effects. And maybe when you read the article, that will tell you there are many causes, and those causes will result in one effect or several effects. And this structure is very useful, especially when you teach students some expository reading or writing. Concept math. I think all of us are familiar with that. Matrix? or Venn diagram. Do you know Venn diagram? To do some compare and contrast activities. If we know the natures, the types of these graphic organizers, then we need to use these tools to analyze the reading materials. And actually, I gave you the handout. Okay. Now I'm going to have you're going to have the first. This bamboo sheet is for the group, but each of you, please get one handout. And actually, from now on, you are in this classroom right now. You read two different articles. You two groups read the same articles, and you two groups read the other articles. Okay? And now I want you to do this. Now I would like you to call a roll. Who would like to be number one in your group? Please raise your hand. One group, one group, one group. Okay, number two. Number three. Number four. Okay, now remember, just keep this number in your mind, because later some of you will go to the other groups to share your opinions or to share your discussion, okay? And now, please look at the directions here. The first task, I would like you to read the assigned reading and then use your professional knowledge to decide which graphic organizer is the best one to fit that reading, okay? And now, I want you to take turns reading the assigned reading materials, and each one reads one paragraph, okay? Now, before you